The agenda is a request to approve local constitutional amendment to implement gas tax as presented. Motion by Commissioner Singfield. Second by Commissioner Shue. Now, we had some discussion on this on Thursday, and I want to bring everybody up to speed on both the state situation and on what we are voting on. As we were meeting Thursday, the portion of the state bill that we continue to support and hope passes, the portion dealing with the accountability and how the money would be spent and the safeguards to make sure it will be spent in that manner, was on the House floor. Those of you that know how the process works knows that until all the budgets are passed, you have to adopt a budget isolation resolution before you can approve a bill. That budget isolation resolution passed 99-1, so we felt good about that. They did not complete debate on the bill, and they will take that back up on tomorrow in the House. This is the bill that has already passed the Senate. Again, this deals with how the money would be spent if the money was generated in this session, the accountability of it, the reporting back to citizens of how status of projects, what projects will be done. In essence, the accountability to the citizens that would be paid whatever revenue was generated. Once this bill is passed, then it would be up to them to try to come up with the, I think the talk up there now is 6 cents user fee, as I like to say, to fund the bill that they are now passing. So that is still in process, and as I said, we continue to support and hope that that bill will pass and move forward, and that'll be the end of that. Now, as we mentioned on Thursday, and we talked about the issues we've got here in Houston County and our need to address them and our desire to let the citizens of the county decide if, in fact, they want to address them with a fuel excise tax, and that's what this constitutional amendment does. It would be what we had on the agenda Thursday was a 5-cent increase. We lowered that to 4. We have since made a couple of changes. We had concerns, and some other folks had some concerns that if the state, let me back up, if the state bill passes this year, then this bill will not go anywhere. It will not pass. If this bill passes before the state bill passes, then this will not be on the agenda. A question came up from commissioners, I don't remember which one, about, well, what happens if the state comes back next year? And that is a valid concern. We are not looking to put more than our citizens need as far as taxation. If taxation is created, funding is created at the state level, then we don't want to do it at the local level. So we've inserted language here that if the state of Alabama passes a statewide excess fee on motor fuels with proceeds distributed to counties and cities in the state within the next 4 years after implementation, then this will be well, 3 cents of this will go away. Part of this goes to cities. Part of this is replacing an existing tax, the water and gas tax we talked about. Rather than continuing that, we're going to do away with that tax and roll it into this bill, so that all the collections will be all the same, rather than having confusion to the distributors. Make it easy for them and easy for us. So, should the state pass a tax within 4 years of the date of this going on, then this will be reduced by 3 cents. It also, as I said, repeals the law and gas tax. So we think those are good positive changes. Again, this would be, what we're voting on today is not to implement any tax or anything. We're simply voting to ask our legislative delegation to pass the constitutional amendment, to put it on the ballot in November. We will have public meetings between now and then for people to have input, to ask questions. We certainly will put out all the information that we have. I think these commissioners can tell you of the calls they have constantly about our roads, and we will do the very best job we can to make sure our citizens know where this money will go and how it will be spent. And as I said on Thursday, we've been talking about this problem for about 2 years, and the fact that we had to do something, and it has just come to that time, and that something is here. So, any other comments regarding this from the commission?
Say, a lot of times, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Talk about tax, and knee jerk reaction is to say no, and that was my first instinct in this case as well. But I represent a lot of people that bought houses and bought property on roads that are paved with the implicit understanding that those roads would continue to be taken care of, and would continue to be resurfaced. And with our lack in funding for road resurfacing, that may not be the case. And instead of telling those people that their roads are going to become more dilapidated, they eventually turn back into a dirt road and tell them that they just have to deal with it. And I don't think that's the right thing to do. And I certainly don't think it's the right thing to pass a 4-cent tax and tell taxpayers that they just have to deal with it. So we're going to let the county taxpayers decide what to do, and I think that's the right move. And whichever direction they go, we'll go forward.
Commissioner Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do know that the Alabama Society of Civil Engineers have done a study, and in doing so, they have determined that over 50% of our state and county roads are deteriorating to the point where they're rated in poor, fair, and very poor condition. And it affects the whole infrastructure of our counties and our state. And so when we look at our potential for our economic growth and development, that we're trying to see generate more revenue for our counties, our infrastructure can be kept up to the point where it makes a difference on these companies who are coming in. It especially makes a difference when we see what our DMA is doing, police, law enforcement, all those people out there on those roads. So it comes back to the children, families, the school buses, protecting our citizens of our county and trying to make a difference in creating better and safer roads for our county. Houston County can be one of those leaders in starting that. So I appreciate everybody who's cooperating and working with this program. Chairman, thank you.
Anybody else comment? All right, anyone have any comment, want to address the commission on this?